All right, let's dive in. Today we're going to tackle the world of cryptocurrency exchanges. Our goal? Super simple. We're going to cut through all that noise and give you a clear, straightforward guide to picking the right platform for you. Let's get to it. So, if you're just starting out in crypto, this is probably the big question, right? You've heard all about Bitcoin, you've seen the crazy headlines, but that practical first step, where to actually buy and sell, that can feel like a massive wall to climb.
And hey, it's no wonder it feels so overwhelming. You're not just picking between a handful of options here. You are looking at a global market with more than 300 active exchanges. Every single one has its own features, its own fees, its own focus. It's a huge, sprawling ecosystem. But look, don't worry. That huge number of choices, that's exactly why we're doing this. We're going to break it all down piece by piece so you can find the platform that really truly fits what you need.
Okay, first things first. We've got to understand the two main flavors of exchanges out there, centralized and decentralized. But before we even get into the different types, let's just lock in what we're even talking about. At its heart, an exchange is just a digital marketplace. Think of it as the bridge connecting your regular money, dollars or euros, to the world of digital assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. Think of a centralized exchange, or a CEX, as something you're already familiar with, like a stockbroker. There's a company behind the scenes, managing everything, offering customer support, and holding your funds. A decentralized exchange, or DEX, well, that's kind of like the Wild West in comparison. It just runs on automated code, these things called smart contracts, with no single company in charge. For most people just starting out, a CEX is going to be the much more common starting point.
So what makes an exchange actually tick? What's going on under the hood? Well, it really comes down to three key parts. You've got the matching engine, that's the brain, pairing up buyers and sellers. Then there's the liquidity pool, which is basically the big pile of cash and crypto that makes sure your trades go through instantly. And finally, the wallet. That's the digital vault keeping everyone's stuff safe and sound.
All right, so now that we've got the mechanics down, let's talk about the big dogs, the global giants of the industry.
Now, the platforms we're about to look at, they're not just big, they are the absolute titans of this industry. They handle the vast majority of all trading volume. And that means they have the deepest liquidity, which is just a fancy way of saying you're much more likely to get a fair price for your trades.
And this chart really shows you just how different these top exchanges can be. You've got Binance, the absolute giant, famous for its massive selection of altcoins. That's basically any crypto that isn't Bitcoin. Then there's Bybit, a huge favorite for pros who trade complex stuff like derivatives. If you're hunting for that next hidden gem, Mexc is known for listing new tokens really fast. And BingX has cool features like copy trading, where you can literally just mimic the moves of successful investors.
And this is super important to know. This isn't the unregulated Wild West anymore. Governments are stepping in. Big regulations like MiCA over in the EU are setting really high standards for how these platforms have to operate. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means better protection and a much more stable market to trade in.
So, with that growing safety net in place, we get to the most important question of all. What do you actually need from an exchange? The best platform? It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. It's all about finding your perfect fit. So let's start right here. Are you just getting your feet wet? Because if you are, your priorities are going to be totally different from someone who's been at this for years.
Okay, so for beginners, the name of the game is simplicity and support. You want an interface that doesn't look like the cockpit of a spaceship, right? You need helpful tutorials, and believe me, a customer service team you can actually get a hold of. Great examples are things like Binance's Light Mode, which just boils the whole process down, or Bybit's demo account that lets you practice with fake money. These features are all about building your confidence, not throwing you in the deep end.
But what if you're past the basics? What if you're someone who plans on trading a lot and you need some more powerful tools in your toolkit?
For the active trader, it's a completely different ballgame. It is all about performance. You need lightning-fast execution, the lowest possible fees, and access to sophisticated stuff like futures and options for more complex strategies. Advanced charting tools and rewards for trading a lot, those become huge factors. This is for the person who lives in the charts and needs every single competitive edge they can get.
Okay, we've covered a lot. The types of exchanges, the big players, how to match a platform to your style. Now, let's go over a few final, really critical pieces of advice before you jump in. And this is something you absolutely have to hear. Many platforms will offer you something called leverage,
It's like borrowing money to make bigger trades. Now, while it can definitely magnify your profits, it can do the exact same thing to your losses and much faster. If you ever decide to use it, you have to understand that risk and always use tools like stop-loss orders to protect yourself.
And that really brings us to the perfect mindset you need to have. The crypto market can be wild. Getting rich overnight? That's pretty much a fantasy. Building real sustainable wealth takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a solid strategy. You got to treat it like a long-distance race, not a 100-meter dash.
So, now you have the framework. You understand the tech, you know the key players, and most importantly, you know how to find something that aligns with your own trading style. You are totally equipped to make a smart choice. The only question left is, which platform will you start your marathon on?